Yeah, like
Hello, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to today's section. I believe you guys had a session in the morning, and those of you that were able to attend that session, you got to ask a couple of questions that you needed to sort out. So good afternoon. Sorry for being late for like 8 minutes. I was trying to live stream. And for those that missed yesterday, if you have a question, you can still drop your question today as well. All your questions will be answered. So if you guys can, I believe you guys can hear me. Okay, someone said your question is, I can't get a confirmation mail for Slack Hub. I complete my tag. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that, but probably you should check your spam folder for promotion or socials. I know is the resource PDF file. Depending on the kind of resources, some resources will be website links and some will come as a Google Doc, just depending on whatever content that will be should be you. Okay, so I believe you guys have had time to go through some of the resources that have been provided for you so far. So I'm expecting you guys to have questions relating to contents you've read from the from the uh from the materials that was given to you guys. And by now, I believe you should know how to access those posts. I think let me see. Let me try and get some of those things. So you've been shared how to create your profile. Oh, sorry, not those ones. I'm trying to go. Okay, for somebody who's asking about explanation of office hours. Okay, I believe I did a little bit of the explanation yesterday. So basically, with the office hours, these are time you get to, ask all the questions you have from the resources you're going through, from the videos you're watching, and from all the anything you feel like might be a little bit confusing for you on the resources we've shared with you guys. So let me go through questions that are related to the resources. Yes, so for your week 1 resources for design, yeah, I believe you guys have been able to interact with these resources, and I have a couple of questions regarding maybe probably low UX and what designer is about. Okay, so let's see. Yes, this class is for beginners. This class is for beginners. Hi everyone. That's okay. Okay, I believe those of you that are having issues with Slack, you could probably direct those questions on your LMS so you get that sorted out. Okay, I can't get confirmation. Okay. Trying using, okay, please, I would need you guys to be specific with your question. And let's focus more on questions relating to, design. Okay, someone is asking what's different between HNG and Zuri is a training platform where you get to learn. HNG is an internship platform. So one is a training, one is for internship. So what's the difference between empathy maps, user journey map, user personnel? Wow, Dolphin. I'm not sure if you guys have gotten to that level, but that's more like, no, this is your first week. All different, and along the line during your weeks, you get to know the difference between that. I don't want to answer that because that would be like skipping steps to in the process. Because there'll be a point where you guys will be learning about all this empathy map and user personals and all. So let's stick to questions that are relating to, you know, they are relating to questions that are relating to the resources shared. Okay, another questions about explaining about user personals. I'm not sure exactly why you all have questions about this at this point. And because before you get to that point, you still need to know about the researches and all of that. And I believe what your first week, your material is more about introduction to design, design thinking, law of UX, and the rest. Before you get to personals. Someone is asking, what's the difference between UI and UX design and a product designer? Like I said yesterday, UI, UX, and product designer, they're almost the same. The major difference that I would say comes in is probably for a product designer, you're not just designing the UI, UX, you're also including the business part of it. You're conscious about the business goals as well. So in as much as you're satisfying the users and all, you're also trying to satisfy the stakeholders as well and ensure that the product is being able to, achieve the business goal that they need the product to achieve. So typically, they're about the same. For me, I would say they are the same. Because in as much as, yes, you want to use, design a product to solve a problem, there will be no point of that product if after building it, spending a lot on developing and building it, but you're not getting user to use it in order to get returns on that product. Tell us more about interface design. Well, interface design, that's a UI design. I would say it's more about the aesthetics of your design. And this has to do with ability for you to be able to pay attention to details. And part of which is with you being conscious of your, what's the word? Your typography, the typeface. So when they say typeface, they mean fonts, your alignment, that is your spacing, how your text are, they're not scattered. Everything is looking, orderly. Everything is in the right place and it's looking nice. Your colors, you're not blending weird colors together. Everything is seamless. And those are like most of the important things about interface design. And not just about the aesthetics and all, but also about how it's easy for you to understand that interface. And that's where the UX come in. Another name for social media designer. I believe most of the people that do flyers for social media, that's like, I don't think there's anything called social media designer. It's more like graphic designer design stuff that, they post on social media and all the stuff like that. But I don't think there's a term called social media designer. Someone said, how do we go about product design? To go about product designing, it takes a lot of hard work in terms that aside you knowing all this basic principle, you need to constantly practice what you've learned. So if you've learned how to draw a box, you need to constantly draw that box for you to be able to draw that box even when you're sleeping. So product design is more about consistency. It's more about you being able to design those products that is actually solving problem, not just frictionally where you just think about the app, but that particular app you designed is being developed and is actually solving user problem, and people are using it, and you see that you designed this app and it's solving problem, people are using it. Those are part of, that's part of the core purpose of product design. And product design, you can classify it as, so you have the digital product and the physical product. Physical products includes your laptops, your phones, your cars, and all the rest of all the physical things. What digital product design, the web apps, the mobile apps, all those softwares and everything. Those are like, the digital product design. And I believe on this training, we're focusing more on the digital product design. That is, we are not designing anything physically, but, we're designing softwares, mobile hubs, and all like that. And next question says, please explain on the types of wireframing. I'm not sure there's a type of, there are different types of wireframing. Wireframing is just wireframing, and wireframing is like a sketch. You're on how you envision the design of a app would be. So wireframing are mostly like sketches. They're like scribbles that you do. Okay, I want this to be here. I want that, more like your architectural design of the app you want to develop. Okay, those questions I prefer. Okay. It is career speaks for an user persona. Okay, so I'm saying that some of your resources have details about user persona. All right. I guess I'll have no choice than to go deep into that as well. So part of the process of design, like I said yesterday, you go from your brainstorming, ideation, and the rest of it, and all to the point, in the sense that when what's the word again? When you start, like, okay, yes, you want to design a product, right? From your research. You get the result from the research, you interview people, people fill your survey form. So part of those people that you interview, they become your personnel. Personnel means a typical user that you interview, a potential user that would, and you already interviewed them beforehand to find out that, okay, this is the problem you discover and you're trying to solve this problem. And you're actually interviewing them that, okay, for example, you're trying to build an app that will enable them pay their rent faster. And you interview the person, why haven't you been paying your rent on time? And the person tells you the reason why. Okay, what do you think that can help you to pay your rent on time? Or what exactly it is that is stopping you from paying your rent? Okay, and you get to know what the person's problem is, and then what is part of the goal you get from them, that, okay, would you be able to pay your rent if you have access to social resources and all? So based on the result of those interviews, so now when you're creating your, what's it called, research analysis, that is the analysis from the results you're getting, you create the personnel. So the name of the person you interview, for example, is John Doe. Then you break down the details of what you discussed with John Doe. Okay, during your interview with John Doe, you give a brief introduction. John Doe is 28 years old, blah, 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 blah. He's a software developer, and his goal is part of his problem was, that the pain point was, he's unable to pay rent because maybe he doesn't have enough job, blah, 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 like that. Or maybe because he's unable to keep track record of his finances. And then part of the pain points you are bringing out of those questions from the interview was that he has financial issues. That's the main goal. And also how was the word? He doesn't have enough time management system to manage himself. So by picking out those things, John Doe is your personnel. That's a user personnel, because John Doe is a potential user of the platform you want to create. So user personnel are the people you get to interview during your research process. And when you're trying to do your analysis, you break down the result of what you got from those are people you interviewed during your research. Someone says, okay, I've answered the question, difference between UI and UX. Okay, I'll answer this again today. UI is user interface design, while UX is user experience. UI has to do with the aesthetics, the beautification, okay, let me just explain that. Okay, UX of a house is, from the entrance, it takes you to the dining room. From dining room, you can easily access the kitchen. You can go to the game room. When you climb upstairs, you get to the parlor and all of those things. Those are the UX of that house. That is the process for you to navigate inside the house, to live in the house. Now, the UI of the house is the interior decoration, the paint that was on for the house, the roofing of the house, and all the little details, the wall hearts, the wallpapers that are used on the house, and all those things. Those are the UX, UI. So UX, UI, they go hand in hand. A house might be huge and big, but the moment the interior decoration is very ugly, you'd be like, oh, this house is not fine because it doesn't have a nice UI. So the same thing with mobile apps. The app is how the UX of an app is how users are able to navigate and use the app easily. And the UI is how attractive, how pleasant the app is when you download it. Oh, this app is very nice. Makes sense. That's literally the UI of the app. And okay. Another question. Sorry, I don't want to answer any question relating to Slack. So this is strictly questions about, about the course itself. So this one says, how do UX and UI designers work together? Literally, it's only in big companies like Google, Meta, Amazon, Flutterwave, where else again? Which other big companies out there? A whole lot of them, sure. You have the likes of let's say Twitter. Yes, we have the likes of Figma. We have the likes of you name it, any big company, there are multi-billion company out there. They are the ones that always have those specification of separate UI designer, separate UX designer, or separate, okay, hold on, please, sorry. Or separate, okay, I think your questions have been mixed up here. I'm so sorry. Or separate, what's it called, UX researcher. So, but basically, as a beginner, like I said yesterday, it is better you focus on being bold, because you would be a bad UX researcher if you have no knowledge about a good UX design. So at the beginning, you need to be bold before you later on and say you want to focus. Most companies, especially when you're a beginner, they expect you have a good knowledge of a UX design and a UI design. So in larger companies where they are being separated, where you have an interaction designer separate, a UX designer separate, a visual designer separate, a motion designer separate, those type of companies where they come to work together is that as a visual designer, I only focus on visual. As an interaction designer, I only focus on interaction. As a UI designer, I only focus on UI. And as a UX researcher, I only focus on UX researchers. I don't need to get my hands on dirty on that. So in those kind of huge companies, they get to, do those work separately. But starting up, especially in places like Nigeria and even any other startup that you be coming from as a beginner, you would always be expected to have knowledge of both. You have to have knowledge of both. But it is when you get to the point where you're like, a pro, then you can say you want to specialize on one thing. The doc website and the page. Okay. Somebody is asking a question about what is game design? A game design is design for games. Literally, like game design. Example, we have Candy Crush. whoever designed that, that's a game designer. You have Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, all those games you're playing, the way you're playing it, to develop them for you to be able to play those games. It is a designer that designed it. And those type of designer that designed those type of the games are called game designers. So that's game designer. Game design means literally designing games. That's what it means. Resources will be given. We are giving content topics of, okay, if we went as far as talking about wireframing. Okay, now I understand. Okay. User testing. Wow, interesting. I didn't know that the resources that were dropped already had all of this. I think I will have that clarified. Yeah, user research, usability testing, wireframing, prototyping, design system, interface are terms common to what kind of designer. They are terms common. I hope you guys are not asking me questions from your tax, from your OBJ tax. Because this particular question from this person that is one of those questions in OBJ tax, that's going to be a very wrong thing to do. But to be asking me questions to your tax. Well, all what you listed out is what a product designer does. Someone said, are we going to learn things related to business and marketing? No, you're not going to learn things relating to business and marketing because those are different career paths. And so those are different career patterns. And you guys are asking your tax question. Exactly. I just found that you guys are asking me answer to your OBJ question. Wow. See, really, this is, you write out the answer. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. And put the option in. Question one, what is the difference between product design and product manager? Oh, interesting. This is I believe I'm being tricked at this moment. Like, really? Wow. Now I'm like skeptical to answer some of these questions, seeing that you guys are asking me questions, answer to your task that has been given to you. That's not nice. This is not nice. This is not nice at all. No, I don't even know what to answer at this moment because it's you guys are telling me to give an answer to your question. Really? Oh my goodness. You guys sorry guys, I don't want to answer the tax question. Okay, this is tempting me to end the session because this is unfair. Why would you imagine I've answered all the questions and I'm just discovering interesting. Wow. Wow. If you guys start, you guys shouldn't ask me question really that was given to you in objective. In short, let me go and look at those questions so that once I see a question relating to that, I'm not going to answer. Since that's the sense you guys want to be doing it, right? I would not, anytime I'm doing my session, I'll go through the question and ensure that I'm not answering you guys' questions that is related to the task I was giving to you. So yes, I'm coming. Let me check the task question and see the exact question that's been given to you guys. Introduction to design. Introduction to design. Okay. Okay, so okay. So now I have introduction to design. I'm looking at it. Oh, so all of you that are asking me about graphic design, you are, oh my goodness. Wow. Nice one. The person asking me about social media design, that was oh no. Wow, this is interesting. Oh, wow. You people are wise. Oh. If you want to scam me, don't worry. Once bitten, twice shy. Don't worry. I should do as if I don't know. Okay, somebody saying, this is not task question. What is the difference between product designer, and product manager? Then is wireframing same as low fidelity / high fidelity? Before I answer that question, right? I would go and see the fact that people, all of you are saying it's not this thing. Let me go and check the question first and see if that is there before I answer that question. That is what I do. For every question I see now, I'll confirm if it's not part of the question that was given to you guys before I answer. So the person that is asking me about game design is part of your question. Interesting, nice one. I give it to you guys. What's the difference between this? Okay. Okay. All right. What can I do with this? Okay. All right. So regarding the difference between what are different types of designers? I'm not answering that question. Okay, so regarding the question for product designer and product manager, a product designer is the person that designed the interface, did the research, and all of those things. But a PM, managers are also known as PM. They are the one that, they ensure the success of a particular product from the beginning all to the end. So they don't just deal with the designer, they also liaise with the developers and the marketing teams. So they are like the linking connection between marketing people, the product designers, and the developers. So ensuring that, okay, the designers are designing what is expected based on the marketing research that has been carried out, and the developer are implementing what the designer has designed, and the functionality of what the developers have implemented is working fine, and they are able to get, feedback back from the user. So manager are like those managing, they are managing, the progress of that particular product you're developing, and ensuring that that product, achieve the goal, the business goal that have been set and all. And wireframing is not the same. It's not the same. High fidelity is the main design itself. Wireframing is sketches and all. It's not the same as low fidelity and high fidelity. Somebody is asking me, is online designer the same thing with web design? Please, you've searched, you did not say answer. You now want me to answer. No, I'm not answering that question. Keep searching for your answer. What's the idea between creating user persona? I believe I explained the user persona at the beginning of this. Let me go and check. Is there a question about user persona? Because I already even answered that user persona question. So I believe if by the time we play the recording of this particular class in the beginning, you see where I was explaining about user persona. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Okay. Different types of trial are confusing. No, that's not confusing, but I'm not gonna tell you the answer. Higher parts pay based on I'm not talking about pay, yeah. Sorry. Now you guys have okay. During the login process, I'm not answering questions. This is not happening. I'm not answering a question that is not related to, This is not a tax question, but we need reaction of answer button added to the tax submission. Is that gonna? Sorry, you said I can't really get you. I believe I'll have to find out about this. I don't really get your question here. Sincerely speaking, together. Okay. Last question. What kind of designer makes website and have that even design kit? Oh, Raymond, you think you're wise. I'm not gonna tell you the answer. Sorry, I'm not gonna tell you the answer. A user persona helps you recognize, okay, this person is this person is explaining what the user persona is. Okay, please, okay. An experience, quick question, an experience strategist is it also the name as a pro? An experience strategist, I can't say you're a project manager because there are strategies in different ways. We have strategies in politics, strategies in business, in, different type of, stuff. So you can't really say an experience strategist is a product manager, except that particular strategy is actually a product manager. So that you can't really say that because we have political strategies, we have all the diplomats that will be strategists as well. So no, I don't think you should join them together. Okay, not a tax. Would it be wrong to view product design as design management of a you people would like to confuse things, yeah. Especially change management of design. Hey God, let me read what you wrote. Not a tax question. Would it be wrong to view product design as design management of a digital product? Especially change management of design elements in digital products. You want to confuse me with question. And no, product design is not design management. They are totally different things. They are kind of different. This is the area of assessment for user. There is an area of assessment in the user experience design and another the same. There is an area of an assessment. There is user experience designer and UI designer. Are they not the same? No, user experience is different from user interface. Like the word said, user experience, user interface, totally different. Experience strategy is also an expertise in UX precisely. No, you can't really prove that because when you say experience strategies, are you talking about user experience strategies? You need to specify. Experience strategies could be in sales and growth. It could be in marketing. It could be in anything. As long as the person is a strategist. Strategies are in different fields in life. So you can't really say automatically. What are the rules of a UX designer? Wait, let me go and check the question before I answer all this question. Not answering that question. I'm not telling you. You guys think that you're right. You're trying to reframe the question. You're paraphrasing it so that I'll not know that that's the same question you're asking me at the same time. More. Otherwise, no worry. I am not telling you guys the answer. I'm so sorry. Any question relating to this, I'm not gonna answer. Well, I have 5 minutes left for you guys. So, okay, so now for those that missed yesterday class, you can get access to it on the Zuri, training, Zuri team YouTube channel, and also on your Zuri board, that's your LMS, go to tags or go to posts, you see links to all those design. What's the difference between product design and product design management? Do this. They have removed the task. What happens if it was not submitted since? Well, we'll have to find out about that if the task was removed. We'll find out. Probably I don't know. I'll have to find out about that. I have answered the user personal question like 2 times already. So if you play the beginning of this particular class, you get my detailed explanation about user personal. Does product design build from scratch or they only make changes to product? Yes, product designer build from scratch. They develop new products and they also redesign existing product or transform existing product or revamp existing product. So yeah, they build from scratch, not just existing products. How do you become a good designer? You become a good designer by being consistent, like constantly being consistent, always learning, always practicing, and also paying attention to details. Paying attention to details is one of the core skills to become a good designer. There's always a difference between quantitative and qualitative data. Okay, when it comes to data, qualitative data are like, stuff that cannot be for example, results you get from your interviews, those are your qualitative data. Why results you get from survey that can be statistically, accumulated that, okay, 20% choose option A or 30% choose option B. In those scenarios where you can make that data quantifiable, you can make data, in figures, convert the data from the survey you carried out. Those type of data are quantitative because you can quantify them into 10%, 20%, 30%. Interview, the response the person was telling you, like, oh, tell me about your life history, and the person gives an explanation and you record it, all those type of situations, those are qualitative data because you cannot quantify all those information. And no, qualitative is not the feeling app gives. That's not what we're talking about here. When we're talking about data, qualitative and quantitative data comes in when you're trying to do your research, where you create survey questions and ask people these questions. And in those questions, you have option A, option B, option C, and then people fill it. About 100 people fill it. You can say, 70% out of 100 for question number 1, they selected option B. 80% for question number 2, they selected option C. That process of quantifying the quantity of what they did, right, is called from that data, you have quantified that data. That is a quantitative data. Now, but when you interview, like the way I've been, answering your question, if anybody is writing it down, the person is gathering, or the answers you're getting from me is a qualitative data because you can't quantify, the answers I've given you because I'm just speaking. It's more like, okay, you guys are asking me questions and I'm answering, so more like an interview. So whatever information you're getting from this part is called a qualitative data. I hope that's, gives you further explanation. What software we'll be using? Yes, we'll be using Figma. I have explained what qualitative and quantitative data is, but what can I make a video details about? Please, can you guys make a video details about the type of designers and okay, different type of designers are not confusing. Have the graphic designer, the product designer, the motion designer, the 3D designer, 2D designer. You have different designers. They all have. The reason I'm not giving you full details about what it is because it's part of the object question I was given to you. So that's why I will not what's it called? You want to know when practical class is starting, don't worry. You would get to know and then you see and you will be It's will be interesting, don't worry. I believe information architecture is more for developers. For designers, what represents an information architecture for designers are user flow. And for developer, it has to do how, I don't know if you guys understand development terms, but it's majorly for, the use for developers. What else? Let me see. Okay, the morning section explain the details about different types of designer. So I guess you guys can, check the morning section. The reason why I'm currently conscious about not asking questions because you guys have tried to play me. That's why I'm trying to be conscious of not to be answering the question of your OBJ questions. So please, and I would like to employ you guys. I don't want a situation where I wouldn't trust the kind of questions you guys are asking me. When you want to ask me a question, please do not ask me questions that will give you the answer to the task you're given. That's like cheating. You're giving these tests, these questions to see how you've understood the materials and resources given to you. So please, guys, let us be respectful of the process. Ask questions relating to resources you read. Don't ask me the question that was given you in your task. That would really be appreciated. And let us, have fun while learning. And yes, you have an onboarding process this evening. So, okay, let's not talk about the kind of country. It has nothing to do with the kind of country you are. It has to do with your personality and your principles. It has to do with your principles. Let's just learn to be fair. Let's put it that way. So no, product design, you don't need to code at all. You don't need to code, don't worry. You don't need to code. In which order do we follow? Answering the tasks, be sure. Okay. For your tasks, I would advise by the time they give you a task and you see the questions in tasks, there's always resources that's provided and videos. Watch those videos, go through those resources, then you would find the answers to those questions. And aside that, even if you don't find the answer to those questions on the, what's it called? On those resources, Google is your friend. You need to learn how to research with Google. As a designer, you need to learn the skill of researching. You need to learn the skill of optimizing Google to, find answers to anything you're doing. So, anyway, guys, this will be the end of today's session. I hope, please answer my question. Okay, what is your question, Dominique? What is your question? Because I'm about to round up the class. I believe this has come to that end. Okay, no question. You want to know how you get jobs after the training? Focus on learning first, then you start thinking of how to get jobs. All right, guys. I would be ending the live session now. Thank you.